Okay, it is December 3rd, a Tuesday, 2024. On the road in the Digibug. It is snowing out, so I got my hat on. It's kind of hot, so I'm gonna take it off. The Litecoin Lotto hat, had that since 2018. Rob D was doing the Litecoin Lotto. You'd spin the wheel, you put the Litecoin in, split it, and half would go to the foundation, Litecoin Foundation, half would go to the guy that won, or the gal that won. It was pretty fun. Good times, baby. Old school. OG's in the Litecoin. Litecoin coming back. It's kind of nice to see finally it's going to reach its attain the moniker that I keep giving it, sound money for the digital age. It will finally, the Litecoin has come back, or home. Which is it? Can you smell what the Litecoin is cooking? It's too hot. I can't. I had that on. Watch the road there, sonny. I had that on. My glasses are broken. I got an eye appointment Thursday, so I'll be in the car Thursday. Maybe I'll make another video. But they got stepped on yesterday, and so my only pair, and it's just ridiculous. Problems, first world problems. You know, I can take them off and be blind, not drive, but whatever. What difference at this point does it make? Crypto action, everybody's excited. People in Bitcoin, you know, they were for a while there, the maxis are like, ha ha, we got the best thing going, sailor baby, y'all are losers. You don't have Bitcoin, you're losers. Well, now you see Bitcoin kind of, this happens every cycle. See, this is the thing people don't understand. Let me educate everybody. So what happens is all the money flows into Bitcoin. You know, everybody's excited, especially this time because the ETF hype. You know, on Wall Street and all the institutional money coming in, it really hyped it more than it ever has gotten hyped before. It's been hyped more than it's ever been hyped before. Biggest hype ever. And so you had a lot of money coming into Bitcoin, pushing it almost just that close to $100,000. And I did say back in March time frame on Hash It Out, you know, $73,000 Bitcoin, you know, at the time, I said we're not going to 100,000 this year. I even said we're not going to 100,000 in this cycle. I'll probably be proven wrong on that. However, I can see it wicking up. I'll get into that some other time. But anyway, $100,000 is looking like it might be a little difficult to reach this year. I have a lot of people talking about it, fulfilling Cliff High's language with the $100,000 Bitcoin parties and that kind of thing. But it's looking like it's struggling to get to 100,000. Now, it may do it. I want to see it close the monthly at 100,000. That's what I doubt, because a lot of times you can wick up and, it hit $100,000 for one trade on this one exchange, you know, and who knows where. And no, I want to see it confirmed. I want to see a confirmation that we've closed at $100,000. Now, it could be on the weekly candle, but we'll see what happens. I kind of doubt we're going to do that, because what happens every cycle, everybody got money in Bitcoin, and as Bitcoin goes up, and everybody's like, oh, Bitcoin's the only thing, everything's gonna be denominated in Bitcoin. And then the money starts to rotate, and Bitcoin kind of, creeps down a little bit. It rotates into the other coins, because it doesn't take much for these coins to run. Look at XRP running. Now, that takes a lot of money to make that run. But with XRP, everybody thinks this is going to be some new standard, you know, banking cross-border transactions. It may be, but that's only if the current system continues in some sort of way. Now, we don't want a full-blown collapse. Some of us might. We just want a better economic system. That's what I want. I want sound money. I want money. Something that has to be worked for, something that has to be earned, and then it stores that energy. You know, and Bitcoin does that. It's just hard to use. It's just not that good for daily transactions and for the common man. It's good for institutions and, you know, same vampire casino. Well, that's why I like Litecoin. And you're going to see it shock people because it is way undervalued. The last cycle, it did not go, it just went to its all-time high, and that was it. It didn't really bust out like a lot of the other coins did. So it's really a cycle behind. So you got a lot of catching up to do. And that is going to shock a lot of people when it does. I mean, and it just works. It's got all the fundamentals. I mean, it's really a better Bitcoin, the way it's been developed. And, you know, it's faster, it's cheaper to use, it's got a lot more space in it. It's just, you know, it's just as liquid as Bitcoin. There's a finite supply. There's only 4 times as many as Bitcoin, you know, so you got to look. Bitcoin 100,000. Why is Litecoin not 25,000? Good question. Will it get to that point? Because, you know, you've got a first mover advantage in Bitcoin, and most of the money goes into that first. So a lot of it would have to spill over. But I mean, I could definitely see it rolling over. I don't want to talk those kind of numbers, but I definitely would see it catching up quite a bit, just from the standpoint of people who actually use crypto. This has always been my argument against Bitcoin, because every time I use it, it's very frustrating. I'm irritated. It takes forever to move it. You don't put a high enough fee in, or even the wallet that you use. You know, you might think it's, oh, okay, yeah, it looks like there's enough fee. I put in $3. I've done that before and waited a day and a half for a transaction. $3. Actually, $5. I mean, it just depends on how busy the network is. I mean, it's just, Bitcoin's got a bus coming along every approximately 10 seconds, a block, 10 seconds. Think of it as a bus. People trying to get on the bus, they're waiting at the bus station. Hey, we're going to get on this bus. There's only so much room on the bus. It's kind of a short bus, you know, it's Bitcoin, you know. So, you know, they're coming along on the bus, and people are waiting to get on the bus, and you get on the bus. Hey, it's $5 to get on. You're like, okay, it's $5. By the time you show up, you know, some other people that got some money, they're like, no, I'm cutting to the front of the line. I'm going to pay $10 for a ticket. You're like, wait a minute, I've been waiting here. Doesn't matter. You got to pay up. And that's how this blockchain stuff works. You pay more money for the space. And so if more people keep coming into it that got more money, they're going to get the block space or the ticket on the bus. And so you wait for the next bus. Well, and then you got a bigger line, a bigger line, a bigger line of people. And so supply and demand, you know, only so much space, the price is going to have to go up. Now, see, that affects people like us. That, you know, hey, you know, if I want to buy something, you know, I want to go buy, you know, I'm going to go buy a TV for $300. You know, I got a great deal on a TV on Black Friday, and that's only $5 a transaction fee, you know, for Bitcoin. I'll take $300 in Bitcoin. You know, I'm feeling good. It's up. Well, $5 doesn't cut it. You know, there's a lot of people wanting to use it and cash out and spend some of it. Pretty soon it ends up being a $20 transaction. You're like, really? $30. Now it's at 10% of what you're trying to spend. And you're like, what the frick, man? This is ridiculous. And so that can add up. I've seen fees over $50. I mean, it's been higher than that even. But what happens when institutions get involved and those people are using it and transacting with it? And they don't care about the cost of the transaction fee if it's under $100. $100, big deal. No big deal. We're used to, you know, costs us a lot of money to move this money. Think about moving gold in a Brinks truck. How much does that cost? And they move Bitcoin, they're like, well, yeah, $1,000 transaction. I'm moving, you know, $100 million. That's nothing. But $1,000 transaction is $1,000 transaction for $1 billion, $1 million, and $10. So it doesn't matter. So if you're down here and you're the little guy, you know, it's only got $5 for a transaction fee, you know, and you want to spend $50 on something, use your Bitcoin, you know, profits, make money, use it. Store of value, and I want to use that store of value and buy something with it and do something with it. You can't, because you're cut out of the system, and that's just the nature of the Bitcoin network, and that's going to get worse, and that's why I don't talk about it so much, especially when I'm trying to talk to people about cryptocurrency. I'll talk to them about Litecoin or Digibyte, because those are coins you can use under the same amount of money. Send the same amount with Litecoin, under a penny. Digibyte, fractions of pennies, and gets there a lot quicker. So whatever. But yeah, Litecoin, it's moving up. We got a few key levels that it's broken. It's kind of sitting at a little bit of resistance, or I should just say stickiness point around 125-ish. You know, it's kind of once it breaks beyond that, you know, especially on the weekly candle, then it's up and away. It'll probably go to $180 pretty quickly. And then after that, you're probably going to the all-time high. And just a matter of, could be days, could be weeks. But it would not surprise me to see Litecoin go to its all-time high this month in December. It just wouldn't, just the way it's all going. You know, it's confirming every level, and it's moving up, and it's not doing the straight up stuff. I'm telling you, I watched the XRP stuff. You got to understand something. If you're new to cryptocurrency and you look at Litecoin and you say, oh my gosh, that's $125 a coin. Why would I buy one of those when I can get XRP for $2.50? I mean, I get more XRP. Okay, you got to do the math. There's 75 million Litecoin in existence, a cap of 84 million. That's going to take 100 years to mine those out. So, I mean, you got 75 million Litecoin in existence. You know how many XRP you got that are on the market? They can be traded? It's something like 53 billion. Do the math on that ratio and the difference. And so when you think XRP is cheaper than Litecoin, it's not, because you need more of them to equal a greater share of the pie, or an equal share of the pie. And so XRP is way overvalued compared to Litecoin right now. However, I know all the narratives. I see people on TikTok. I mean, people are going to get wrecked on XRP. I'm just saying. Whenever you see something shoot straight up like that, and there's still almost half of them, 43% of all the XRPs held by the founder, Ripple. I mean, they can release it and make money on it as the price is up like this, and just fund an operation. I mean, it's so centralized from that aspect, from the monetary aspect, that, I mean, you're just going to get dumped on. I mean, the math doesn't work. It just doesn't work. For people thinking it's going to go to $30, it'll have to, I mean, right now, I don't even know what it is. It'd probably be $20, and then, you're basically at the same level as Bitcoin. So you're saying XRP is taking over Bitcoin. I don't see all the institutions hoarding XRP. I know they got all these deals and all these things and all the networks and all this stuff, but it's still centralized. You got to understand that. I mean, 43% of it's held in one hand. I mean, way overvalued, just saying. All right. And, you might think you hold it in your own possession, but it's not a finite supply. It's not something that, there's no work behind it. It was just created out of nothing. XLM, so many of these other coins, they're just Cardano, created out of nothing. Nothing. And then it's just your faith in it. It's just like believing in the dollar, the Federal Reserve note. I believe in it. There's no fundamentals behind it other than, there's going to be great things going forward. There's all these deals and relationships behind the scenes that are going to come to fruition. Judge the tree by its fruits. And I may be conservative and miss out on a lot of Federal Reserve notes by saying this, but you know what? I know what I have, and I'm fine with it. And I've been fine with it for years, and I will continue to be fine with it because I'm holding something that I can use. I know that I'm holding a digital asset that's not centralized. So anyway, if you love Bitcoin, you need to look into Litecoin. I mean, you really do. You definitely do. All right, so those are the markets. Everybody's getting hyped up. And, I mean, I see this all the time. I mean, I saw XRP go to $2. I'm just using this as an example. What'll happen is the coin will go up. You got like 50 cents in it or something, or even $1 into it. And then it doubles. So now it's $2. Oh, my gosh, now it's $2.50. I'm so smart. Then it goes to $2.90. It's going to $3, baby. I ain't selling. And it doesn't go to quite $3. And then it comes back down to $2.50, and you're like, ugh. Then it goes to $2.40. $2.35. And you're like, oh, gosh darn it. I'm just going to wait for the next pump, and then I'm out. Then it pumps up a little bit. It's like the slot machines. You ever play those? You get just enough of a taste to keep playing. Let me wait a little bit longer. If I just get a little bit higher, I'll feel good. And then pretty soon you're like, man, if it just goes back up to that 290 again, I'm getting out. And that's going to get close. It's going to get close. You won't do it. Boom, now you're down to $2.20. Big dip. Oh, crap, what happened? Breaks under $2, and you're like, well, I got to hold now. I had a double, and I didn't take it. And next thing you know, you're at $1.25, and you're like, forget about it. I can't. Or you'll panic sell, when it hits under $1 again. And it's just a manipulation. It's an emotional market, and that's what happens. And it's just, people are going to get wrecked. I see people out there saying, mortgage everything, put everything in XRP, and they're going to be saying that with Litecoin soon. You just need to get into Litecoin. That's the most blah, blah, blah. The thing is, I see a lot more potential upside with Litecoin, so it'll take a lot longer to get to that point where you're going to get wrecked. I mean, but yeah, you can get wrecked in any of these things. You can get wrecked in $100,000 Bitcoin if it drops down to $70,000, and you mortgage everything at 100. Could happen. So just be careful. I mean, seriously, if you're up like 5 times and you're just gambling to begin with, you might want to take a 5 times gain. You buy something for 50 cents and it goes to 250, and then you're waiting for it to go to 3. Nah, I want that 6x. It's never going to be enough. You're going to want 10x. You're going to listen to all the narratives and all the things that are going to make you think that, yeah, it's going to go to $10. It will go to $10. It'll make sense in your mind, even though the same things could have been said, you know, at the bottom of the market when you could have bought it for a quarter. You didn't believe it then, but now you believe it. Now I believe it. Now I believe that sound money for the digital age that Westwood keeps telling me about. Yeah, it makes sense now. Because you want it to go to $1,000. You're like, yeah, bought it for 110x, baby. It's just the way this market works. That's why I always say, stop it. Check your boxes off. Check freedom boxes. I mean, if it accomplishes something for you, and I mean, listen, I could pay off my car, or I could wait for that 10x. I made 5 on it. Maybe if it just double again, just make 10 times. I don't know, man. Human emotions, it's a B, and I just see it. I see it again. I mean, I'm seeing top signals for XRP. I'm seeing top signals on other things, and you know, and again, it could retrace and then go back up again. But I mean, I think it's spent for now. It's out of gas. It can't keep going up forever. I'll say the same thing about Litecoin. I'll be like, it's looking a little toppy. Now, the fundamentals say it should be in the tens of thousands of dollars. But until it works itself up to that point, instead of going like skyrocketing all at once, if it did that, I'd be getting scared. Be like, this is too fast, too furious. And it's dangerous because it's going to crash hard. Now, if it stair steps its way up there, that's a different thing, and builds support at different levels, that's different. But man, when things go straight up, all you got to do is look at some of these charts. When they just go straight up in the air like that, man, all they can do is fall. They can't keep going up. It just doesn't work that way. It's not human nature. It just doesn't happen. So just be aware of that. Don't get all euphoric and buy into a narrative that's really not there, and just create it in your own mind. All right. That's just what I got to say. Today's December 3rd. Spoke about Cliff High early on, you know, with the $100,000 Bitcoin parties. Supposedly in his data, you've got December 3rd being something, you know, monetarily, something going to happen. Now, it doesn't mean it's just going to happen all at once. And I see people out there, Cliff High predicts an alien invasion on December 3rd. Like, we've been invaded for the last 4 years, you know, by aliens. So you're just now catching on. But no, it's December 3rd is kind of one of those dates to where you probably don't know what's happening. It just may be something that's kind of ushering in a new age. Kind of like 2012, it's the end of the Mayan calendar. Oh, we're all going to die. But if you look back, it did kind of mark a cycle of history. That we're 12 years past it, and things really have been changing quite a bit rapidly. When you look at it through years, that perspective. So nothing happens all at once. It goes through cycles. And that's why when things happen like very quickly, it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? And, you know, it goes up and it's like, oh my gosh, you know, so it's more of a quick events and then transitions, Nothing changes like right now. I mean, it takes time for things to physically change. Mentally, you know, it might change and fracture you, but I mean, it takes time for all the things to change. It's like, we're done with oil. We have Tesla technology. Well, I'm still driving this car and we got all these things. Everything needs to transition and use that new technology, and that takes time. So it's just an example. All right, cycles are cycles. That's just what they are. So today it marks something, you know, in his data. And then I think it goes out to, I'm not sure. You have to go follow Cliff High on that stuff. But it makes sense. We are transitioning. You know, we've got big things coming. New administration coming in. My gut feeling on this whole crypto market is that I think December is going to be a very good month for people. I think Litecoin's going to do very well. Some of the coins that have already run, you know, they'll stop and take a breather and not dump, but I mean, they'll move down a little bit while other coins, you know, gain that energy and move up. Bitcoin will struggle probably at 100,000 or right around it. And then we'll probably have a dip in January because, you know, you've got the end of the year. Sometimes that's tax implications. And then you've got January 20th being the inauguration. There'll be some fear, like they're always, oh, you might not make it to office. You know, yeah, if he doesn't make, they could still take him out, which I don't think's happening. It's not part of the script, not part of the play that we're watching. So, you know, there'll be that little anxiety period, and you'll probably get a little dip in crypto. I mean, Bitcoin could go to 88,000. Let's just say that, use those 8 numbers that Cliff has seen in his data. I could see it going to 88,000, and not a panic, but enough that are like, oh man, you know, I bought it 100, I bought it 105, and now it's 88. And after that, I think you're going to see a rip-roaring good time in February, March, maybe as long as May, but I don't know. Well, we may be over by April Fool's Day. If you're still holding, you're the fool. Who knows? But, you know, just know what your check boxes are free tomorrow. When it hits those points, hit the eject seat and get the things that you need in real life. Use those economic tools on that economic battlefield that have just been placed at your feet, and you're like, pick it up. Pick it up and use it. All right? All right, love you all. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Take care of yourselves. Don't worry about all these dates. I mean, you know, you get all worked up about that stuff. Create your own reality. I'm telling you, manifest your own reality. Thought becomes, action, I guess you could say. But no, thought, believe it, envision it. I mean, nothing happens if you don't create it. You know, all inventors, artists, everything. It has to come from somewhere. It comes inside of you. You're inspired, whatever it is. Use that creative process, that thought, create that thought and make it, manifest it into reality. And so quit living in fear, okay? All right, love you all. Know what you want out of life. When it presents itself, take it, do it, live it. All right, exit the vampire casino, though. That's very important. Get out of that vampire casino. Do the best you can to get out of it. And now's a great opportunity in the next few months, I think, and even this month, you'll have a great opportunity to at least get a foot out the door. All right, love you all. Trust yourselves. Watch us on Hash It Out this Thursday, 4 p.m. Central Time on Blind Dave's channel. Link is below. Watch the lovely Litecoin Lisa and myself on Happy Hour this Friday, probably 5, 6-ish Central Time. And then, hey, there's a new guy, not a new guy out there. There's somebody in the Litecoin community. If you're into Litecoin, I'll put the link below. It's Why Litecoin. He's been doing live streams on Litecoin and charting. And tonight, I think he's got Johnny Litecoin on as a guest. I was on last Wednesday. Go check out that madness. But I'll put his channel below, and I'll also link it up on my website, clintwestwood.net. If you need any resources to cryptocurrency, it's all free, it's just very basic. You just go out there and click on different links and learn about crypto. clintwestwood.net. And then I'll put Why Litecoin's link out there too. Lisa's link's out there. My link to YouTube. My link to X Twitter is out there. A lot of different resources. Good people out there. All right. Love y'all. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Trust yourselves.